What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to be going over some credit card information. I'm going to be talking about how to increase your credit card score. If you're really low, we're going to be going over some tips on how to increase it pretty quickly, and I'm also going to talk about some long-term goals that you can do to keep that credit score up. We got a lot to cover today, so let's get right into it. So by now you should already have a credit card. If you don't have a credit card yet, I highly recommend you watch my last video. I kind of go over some useful information about credit cards, the advantages of what credit cards bring, and kind of the risks involved with credit cards. I won't really get into the reasons of why you should have one, but I'll kind of summarize it a little bit. There's a lot of ways to build your credit, but I believe that credit cards are the easiest way to start building that up. Also, before I start this video, I'm just going to say I'm not advocating for unnecessary spending, and also I'm not a licensed financial expert, so please don't listen to me. I have no idea what I'm saying. So whenever you first get a credit card, you can usually qualify for a sign-up bonus, and it's just spending a certain amount of money in a few months, and then usually you get about $200 or $300. You can also get rewards like cashback and points to spend with a credit card company's partners. And more importantly, you can qualify for a lower interest rate whenever you want to make a payment on a loan, and this could be the difference between tens of thousands of dollars. For example, if you bought a $300,000 house with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage and you have a credit score of about 220 to 239, you're going to have an APR of 3.962%. Your monthly payment will be $1,426. But if you have a credit score of 760 to 850, you're going to have a much lower APR, resulting in a much lower monthly payment. You're only going to be paying $1,166, which ends up being $93,000 less than you would pay with a bad credit score. That's a significant amount of money, and that's why I recommend having a high credit score, so when it comes time to pay off a mortgage, you end up paying a lot less money. That being said, I'm going to talk about what your credit score is and what factors determine what makes up your credit score. To understand how to increase your credit score, I believe it's very important to actually know what your credit score is. So in 1958, two guys by the names of Bill Fair and Earl Isaac, they came together and formed Fair Isaac Corporation, which in short is FICO. So there's multiple factors that determine your credit score, but there's two main scoring models. One is the FICO model and one is the VantageScore model. So the first thing that you need to do is actually check your score. And if you've never checked your score before, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Also, just a heads up, if you've never taken out a loan or you haven't had a credit card for about 6 months, then you're not going to have a credit score. There's two different ways to check your score. You can do what's called a soft pull or a hard pull. Soft pulls do not affect your score, hard pulls do. So a soft pull is what you get when you go to a website like Credit Karma. This is a rough estimate of your credit score. You can also do what's called a hard pull, and you can only do this once a year for free, otherwise you have to pay for it. So to get this, you go to a web browser and type in annual credit report. And then you'll press enter and you'll scroll down until you find it. Once you're in there, you just have to hit request your free credit reports. You just have to fill out a form. It doesn't take too long, but this is the most accurate credit report that you can get. You can only do this one time a year for free, so I highly recommend doing this. Any other time, I just go to Credit Karma or some other free credit score site. They'll give you a pretty accurate estimate of your credit score. Sometimes your bank will give you a credit score, like I have Chase, and I just have to go on the app and it'll tell me what my score is. So now I'm going to break down what factors actually determine your FICO score and how much is allocated towards each factor. So the biggest determining factor in your credit score is credit history. This makes up 35% of your entire score. What this is the algorithm's going to go in and check all your payments from the past to see how many are on time and how many were late. Just to give you an idea of how much weight this carries, if you would have a pretty good score, I'd say above like a 750, and you were to have a late payment of over 30 days, this could drop your score more than 100 points, which takes so long to get back up. The next one is amounts owed, or credit utilization rate, which makes up 30% of your score. This is just your credit balance divided by your credit limit and multiplied by 100. So let's say you have one credit card with a credit limit of $1,000 and you make a $500 purchase. Your credit balance is now $500, so you're going to divide that by your credit limit, which is $1,000. You're going to get 0.5 and multiply that by 100 to get 50%. That just means that you're using 50% of your credit limit, which is actually not good, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. Credit utilization rate is basically just to say how much credit you're using out of your total credit available. Now the next one's going to be the age of your account. This is going to make up 15% of your score. This basically just looks at the age of the line of credit and how long you've been buying and repaying off that debt. So the next one is your credit mix, and that makes up 10% of your score. They basically go in and look at how many lines of credit that you have open. So the last one is going to be hard inquiries, and this also makes up 10% of your score. This is whenever you open a new line of credit, they have to run a hard inquiry to figure out what kind of interest rate you're going to get, and that results in your score dropping. So nobody knows the exact formula of how to figure out your credit score, but with all that information, we do know a pretty good amount. And with that information, we can figure out ways to increase your credit score, get it up to that 850 range. So now I'm going to give you some tips on how to boost your credit score in the short run, as well as give you some advice on how to keep increasing your credit score as time goes on. So if you don't have a credit card, or if your credit score is low, and I'm talking like in the 500 range, I would recommend going to this website. This is Credit Builder Card, and what this is a way to get a secured card. It's not a normal card because you have to put down a security deposit first. If you have no credit, this is where you start building your credit fast and easy. So you just go to this website and you go down, you can see a little video of how it works. They can send you up to 2 cards, and how this works is you just put down a security deposit that is refundable, and you just have to make a purchase of $10 a month on each card. That's all you have to do, and pay that off on time. If you keep doing that, that's going to give you a great score to start out with. And like I said, if you have a score in the 500 range, this is also a great way to start building up your credit really fast and really easy. Now, a really quick way to boost your credit card score is to be an authorized user on someone else's card. So this is no risk to them, and all it does is adds that credit history of that card onto your credit score. It's an easy way to boost your score. Some banks don't allow it because they're starting to catch on. Also, some banks don't add the past history of that card. What they do is they just start from that day, and going forward, all of that credit information will go to your credit score. Another way to boost your credit score is to have a good credit mix. You can do this by juggling installment credit and revolving credit. Installment credit has a fixed end date. This is something like a student loan, auto loans, or a personal loan. Revolving credit has no fixed end date, but you have to make the minimum payments with a chance to pay more to start paying off faster. This is what your credit card is. Your credit card is a revolving credit. You have a minimum payment that you need to make every month. Now the next one is don't use 30% of your credit utilization. So you don't want to go above 30% because you look like a more risky borrower. So honestly, I wouldn't even get close to 30%. I would do no more than 25%. I think that's a good and safe level to stay at. It gives you a little bit more cushion in case you accidentally go over that amount. But if you keep going over 30%, that's going to drop your credit score. You can definitely call up your credit card company and ask them to increase your limit. I'm sure they'd be happy to do it. You probably have to have some credit history, but as long as you call them up and you're polite, they might do it. Another way to increase your credit limit is to open a new card. That's going to combine the total credit limit with both cards. If you're using 50+% of your credit utilization and you only have one card, I wouldn't really recommend getting another one because I think the first thing you need to do is control your spending on your first one before you get a second one. Because if you get a second one, you're more than likely going to start spending even more. But if you're going to get a new credit card, then I would recommend opening this about 6 months after you open the first one. Whenever you open a new credit card, this is going to lower your average age of your credit and overall lower your score. This is just going to be short term. It's going to be a small dip, and as time goes on, your score is going to build back up. Also, another tip, it's really important never to close a credit card because this deletes all your credit history you have with that card from your entire credit score. So if you've had one card for 5 years and you get another one and close that old account, you're basically starting your credit off at 0. All that information from the past is going to go away. If you're going to close a card, you want it to be your most recent card. That's actually going to help your credit score depending on when you open it. But if you think, oh, I have way too many credit cards, I would consider doing one that you opened up more recently and not the one that you opened up first. That's all we got for today, guys. I would say the 2 key takeaways. If you didn't get anything out of this video, the 2 things you need to know is building your credit is important and you need to start early, and never miss a late payment. That's it. Oh my goodness. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. It would help my channel out tremendously. If you know someone who would benefit from this content, send it to them, see what they think. And hey, we beat our monthly goal of 20 subscribers. As of today, we have 21 subscribers. Cheers, baby. We're on our way. Big things are coming. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate everything. Also in the comments, comment what you want me to cover. Comment any topics you want me to go over or anything that you like to know, any questions, comment those down below. Again, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.